humans in the battle, but enabling humans they will do to ensure that human now acts effectively. So, as we have seen in the recent conflicts, especially in Ukraine, Gaza, and Nagorno-Karabakh, this demonstrated unequivocally that unmanned systems are now the frontline actors. Well, witnessing what is happening in the globe, Ukraine, Israel, and everywhere, unmanned system, robotics, and other things are the one taking stage. Drones, unmanned ground, underwater systems are no longer niche capabilities. They are integral part of the modern warfare. This marks a shift from platform-centric warfare to system-of-system operation, whereby you have a series of systems connected together, not that you have disconnected systems. So from this, where humans, machine, and algorithm function as integral part, we have the human aspect of it, while humans solely rely on machine for speed and protection from danger. My lecture today is therefore not merely a technical exposition. It reflects over 2 decades of military service, academic inquiry, and applied engineering practice. Drones now scout terrain where soldiers once advanced on foot. Unmanned ground vehicles prove routes of advance where convoys once moved blindly. Autonomous system patrol seas that once required continuous human presence. For the armed forces of Nigeria, confronted by insurgency, banditry, terrorism, and persistent maritime insecurity in the Gulf of Guinea, including piracy, crude oil theft, and illegal fishing, this transformation is neither abstract nor futuristic. It is operationally decisive now. Armed forces of Nigeria need to be very decisive about these technologies. Today, the ability to sense, to decide, and to act faster than the adversary enabled by network unmanned system and data-driven command and control architectures is increasingly determining the mission success. In our operations today, the number of these sophisticated systems we have determines our success rate, as you can see in the other countries. So, across land, air, and maritime, these tools are necessary for our success as an armed forces. This shift carries profound implications for joint operation, demanding tighter integration between services, reconfigured force structure, new concept of employment, and sustained investment in autonomous platform, resilient communication, and AI-enabled decision support. It is also necessitated doctrinal adaptation, workforce rescaling, that is training and retraining of future commanders, our cadets in the academy here, to ensure that the armed forces of Nigeria remains agile, interoperable, and dominant in increasingly contested and technology-driven operational environments. Now, before I continue, let me digress a bit to my personal and academic journey so that you can appreciate from the standpoint I'm delivering this lecture. The views I share today are not drawn from theory alone. They emerge from personal journey shaped by my hands-on engineering practice, sustained academic inquiry, and over 2 decades of professional military service. Each experience reinforcing my conviction that robotics must be understood not only technically, but operationally, ethically, and in service of those who bear the burden of command. My journey into engineering, academia, and innovation began long before I wore a uniform or entered into a lecture hall. It was shaped by early curiosity and persistent desire to create, repair, and understand how things work. As a junior secondary school student, I deliberately pursued practical skills acquisition. At age 13, I enrolled into carpentry training without my parents' consent. That experience introduced me to the discipline of precision, measurement, and structured design. By then, my interest had expanded to metal fabrication and machining, providing early exposure to materials, tolerances, and mechanical systems. a foundation that later informed both my academic path and professional practice today. These formative experiences culminated into my enrollment at Government Technical College in Gawa, where I formally studied mechanical engineering trades. That decision firmly set my trajectory. It enhanced my later academic pursuits in practical competence rather than abstraction, applying the knowledge rather than theoretical holding of knowledge. I reinforced lifelong commitment to engineering as both craft and discipline. Building on this foundation, I pursued a bachelor degree in mechanical engineering at Bayero University, Kano. During my undergraduate studies, I deliberately extended my learning beyond formal classrooms, formal coursework, enrolling in evening programs in computer hardware, assembly, repairs, and maintenance in Kano at Sabangari. These complementary skills later proved critical in shaping my engagement with embedded systems and intelligent platforms. During my National Youth Service Corps in Maiduguri, Borno State, I further strengthened my ICT capability by studying computer graphics and introductory programming as a core member. These self-driven efforts reflected consistent ambition to integrate mechanics, electronics, and computing, because then there was nothing like mechatronic. But that drive to see how these mechanics, electronics could come together to give smart system actually was my driving force in address real problems, a philosophy that would later define my specialization in mechatronics and robotics. In September 2001, shortly after completing my NYSC, I was shortlisted for Nigerian Army Short Service Course 32. I was subsequently commissioned to Nigerian Army Electrical and Mechanical Engineering Corps in December 2002. After completing training in this academy, later I converted to regular combatant commission. As a young officer, I became deeply immersed in embedded systems design, an area that today forms the backbone of robotics. My prior exposure to computing led to my early appointment as officer grade 3 at our core headquarters in charge of ICT in Lagos, under Major General Adebanjo as the co-commander, retired. I contributed to the digital development of the core ICT infrastructure. Later in 2008, I married my beloved wife, Mariam. My commitment to professional growth led me in 2008 to apply and get a scholarship. I became the first PTF scholar to be sponsored to study mechatronics. Like I say, it was a new course that time. So I had to convince the PTF management that the course is relevant to what they are doing before they could offer me the scholarship. That was in 2008. I studied mechanical engineering and I took my master's degree at Newcastle University, United Kingdom. It was there that my interest in robotics, particularly aerial robotics system, deepened significantly. Upon returning to Nigeria, I had the privilege of pioneering the first indigenous drone research and development projects at the Defense Industry Corporation of Nigeria, DICOM for short, under Major General S.V. Labaran, retired as the Director General. With institutional support, I led a multidisciplinary team to design and build several fixed unmanned aerial vehicles and a helicopter over a period of 14 months. We conducted extensive test flights at Jaji Airstrip. Some were successful, some were unsuccessful, because then I had limited knowledge of robotics. The failures in this provided invaluable insight into system integration, failure analysis, and operational testing. They laid the foundation for subsequent indigenous drone project in Nigeria, because then actually even the Air Force were coming to DICOM to learn and understand and to collaborate and partner with DICOM on drone projects, 2010, around 2010. The success recorded earned me a second PTDF scholarship for my doctoral research in drone autonomous flight control system. During my doctoral studies in the United Kingdom, I made a defining professional decision. Rather than seek part-time employment for financial gain, immediate gains, I accepted teaching and laboratories demonstration roles within the university, deepen my academic grounding and practical mastery. Those extended hours in the lab and in the classroom strengthen my confidence, sharpen my problem-solving skills, and profoundly shape my identity as both scholar and practitioner in robotics and autonomous systems today. Following completion of my PhD in 2014, I was posted to this academy as a lecturer on the request of the then Commandant, Major General M.I. Idris, retired. While at NDA, I contributed to the establishment of the Department of Mechatronics, where I was appointed to head. The department has since graduated its first cohort of cadets and postgraduate students. That was the members of 72 regular course that are already officers today. With all programs fully secured NUC accreditation, recognizing the need for institutionalizing innovation beyond the classrooms, I conceptualized and proposed establishment of the Center for Innovation and Creativity. With the approval of the NDA Council in 2020 and strong support of the successful commandants, the center has grown into a national platform for applied research, indigenous design, and operationally relevant innovations. I wish to place on record that the exceptional contribution and support of the current NDA Commandant, Major General Oti Olatoye, since assuming office, he has demonstrated a clear and deliberate commitment to research, development, and innovation. Remarkably, within his first 2 months in office, he approved the funding of several critical research, development, and innovation projects. These include the upgrading of the Nigerian Defense Academy, that is the Nigerian Army Small Arms Simulation Center in the Defense Academy, which should have commenced work and we're about to deliver by end of March. Again, the automation of the NDA operations mechanism, instead of having a system that is of the 20th century, now we have developed an automated system that can be configured at our upper range. We have a sample outside for exhibition. You may want to have a look at it. Again, he approved the deployment of alert intrusion detection system to cater for the wider security of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Again, the deployment of third mobile kitchen type 2 for all cadet field exercises. Right now, one of those units is with our cadet in charge for their airborne training. Finally, the commander also has approved the deployment of our 2 electric vehicles to ease the suffering of academic staff from the Ejo Gate at the permanent site to the main admin and academic premises, beginning from tomorrow. All these items were developed at the center and they are on display for exhibition after these lectures, please. These early interventions were not only timely but strategic. His sustained support has significantly strengthened the center's operational performance, expanded its impacts, and elevated its visibility within the academy and beyond. Sir, I remain deeply grateful for this leadership, for this confidence, and for this unwavering support, sir. Under my leadership at the center has secured multiple competitive grants, both local and international, totaling over 225 million naira and $1 million from the federal government IDICE program, which we're about to enjoy before the year ends. I wish to state that 50% of the 225 million mentioned earlier was secured during the tenure of Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya as Chief of Army Staff. Sir. He also approved the issue of 2 brand new Hilux Toyota vehicles to the center to ease our R&D effort. The vehicles are still in use. These resources strengthen our capacity for prototyping, testing, and deployment. Additionally, I must mention late last year, the former Chief of Army Staff, now Chief of Defense Staff, approved the in-theater trial of some of these things I have mentioned. Some of these, we have taken them to the theater, we train and try them, and then we have left some at the theater, and hopefully, with what we are doing now, based on what you will see, we are taking more to the theater before the second quarter of this year. Some of those things are the ground mobile attack vehicle, which our troops now are using it. I have a video of that. I will show some of the videos of our in-theater trial for one on time. So these formative experiences, technical traits, academic scholarship, military service, institutional leadership, shaped my understanding of technology, not as an end in itself, but as a means of achieving military effect under disciplined command. It is from this standpoint that now I stand here to conceptualize foundation of military robotics. So before examining military robotics on the front lines, let me say that military robotics must not be construed as futuristic novelty. No, they are here with us now, and we have witnessed all the conflicts around the globe, how these vehicles, either as ground vehicles, air vehicles, or maritime vehicles, are being utilized for operation and successes are being achieved. So, they represent a means of achieving military effect, purposely designed to enhance operational effectiveness while preserving human control and responsibility and accountability. Very important. We're not saying that we delegate responsibility and accountability to machine. Still, human retains control, but the machine aids for effectiveness. So this can happen across land, air, and maritime, as well as in the cyber domains. To extend human reach, perception, and action. That's what we want. While human cannot reach based on shortcomings of human in terms of speed, perception, this machine now are there now to represent human. So central to this concept of robotics is what we call human-machine teaming. Human-machine teaming, whereby we have human and machine working together. In our warfare, until recently, we used to have only human operating with non-intelligent machine. So, but this concept is about smart machine, smart human operating in the battlefield. So robotic system now augment, they do not replace commander, but they augment what commander does and operators. Intent, judgment, and accountability remains with the commander. Intent, judgment, and accountability remains with the commander, with human. And then others, speed and perception now goes to the machine. So as far as Shah has articulated, that autonomy is fundamentally about enabling humans to fight more effectively. Enabling humans to fight more effectively. That's what autonomy means. So within this framework, autonomy exists along several spectrums. Number one is human in the loop, where operators retain direct control and authorize critical actions to progress human on the loop, where systems execute tasks autonomously under human supervision. Human allows the system to operate while he supervises. That is human on the loop. And then finally, we have human out of the loop, where human is not completely involved in anything. But this negates the international humanitarian law and the Geneva Convention, because up to now it's unethical to allow human to take human life. So we don't apply human out of the loop. Always human is in control of this robotic system we are promoting. So for operational relevance, military robotics applicable to the armed forces of Nigeria can be grouped according to the mission effect rather than platform type. These include intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, force protection, route security, logistics and support, combat support, and remote weaponization. These are what the armed forces of Nigeria should use this robotic system for. This classification shifts attention away from hardware toward command responsibility, operational value, and then discipline employment. Ultimately, military robotics is best understood as an extension of human intent. Under discipline command, it is neither replacing a soldier, which has been clearly understood. So the conceptual framing leads directly to the imperative of hybrid command. So with this now, since we say still human in control, and then this brings us to what we call the hybrid command, where you have combination of human and machine. In what we have witnessed around the world, that we have commanders that have machine as troops, and then they have human troops, and which is what very soon the Nigerian Armed Forces will start witnessing. Part of the training now we are doing, particularly in engineering, is our cadets now are being made to understand the concept of having other beings as troops, that is the machine as part of their troops. So again, there is aspect of intelligent command and communication, and then brain-computer interface, which I will explain subsequently. For hybrid command, It means commanders remain fully in control and of operation, while robotics act as force multipliers, where human cannot reach in numbers, in strength, in endurance. Now machines are employed to do that job. Let me give a scenario with drones for ISR. During a counterinsurgency operation, drones are deployed over suspected hostile area in a particular joint task force operation in the northeast. The drones can autonomously fly patrol routes, stream live video, detect movement, and flag suspicious activities. However, drone does not decide who is hostile. Drone does not authorize engagement, but it can send information to the commander. So the commander decides who are the adversaries, who are the friendly forces, and then what action should be taken. Is it elimination? Is it whatever it is? So instead, information is sent to the commander to do that. So here the drone provides eyes and speech. Because of human limitations, drone can go as far as several kilometers and can send information from hundreds of thousands of kilometers for the commander to decide. Unlike when you send a recce team to go advance before they could take back information on radio, that takes time. So that has changed now with hybrid command. Commander can rely to send these machines to get information and relate to him in real time and very fast. And then he decides, remember our order loops. Another scenario too in urban operation, drone can be used, for IED detection. Part of the problems we are experiencing in the field and part of why we deploy our robots there is to help troops now to detect IEDs so that they can advance. So another scenario in a dense urban terrain, unmanned ground vehicles, which we have some of the examples outside on our exhibition, can go ahead of infantry units in dense urban terrain. The UGVs can scan for IEDs, can map alleyways, that is free space where the troops can advance without having to get into danger, and identify heat signatures that will signify the presence of IED buried, and then it relays that data back to the rear for the troops to know exactly how to navigate such places. So the unmanned ground vehicle now may automatically stop when it detects danger, and then it can move on. So all in this is part of hybrid human-machine hybrid command. Machine can go ahead, and then the troops can move behind, and they can fly over. They can be in the waters as well. So why hybrid command matters? Hybrid command matters because commanders overwhelmed by raw data and force micromanage machines, and then machines select targets and then send it to the human. Very important, actually. That will ease and relieve the commander of all the wargaming, of all the several data coming from several information gathering devices. So instead, humans send intent, and then by certain intent, human authorize force, and human remain accountable. As Martin Craven observed, that war is first and foremost a human activity. Technology, therefore, must remain subordinate to human. We're not saying that remove human completely, but bring technology to the help human. Similarly, David Tula notes that the modern warfare demands decisions, superiority rather than platform superiority. Within hybrid command, machine delivers speed, scale, and persistence. So that's about hybrid command. Let me quickly move to the other aspect that defines, for the armed forces of Nigeria, this approach enables the integration of drones, unmanned ground vehicles, and other autonomous systems while preserving mission command, discipline, and local authority, ensuring technology strengthen rather than erode professional military leadership. So for command and control in the era of robotics, we know how important command and control is in the military or in military operations. So the operational value of military robotics ultimately depends on command and control, while unmanned systems greatly expand situation awareness. What we want to know what happens around us, either 1 kilometer, either 10 kilometers. We want to know what is around us. If we can know that, then we can plan and we know where to move. So that's what this unmanned system can do for us. They also introduce a critical challenge, cognitive overload, sending so much information from the several sensors now to the commander. Then the commander will be overwhelmed which information he will use to act. So Martin Craven also cautioned that command is most difficult of least and least understood of all military activities. That is, command is the most difficult and least understood activity in all military activities. So modern command force now contain with simultaneous live feeds. We have several ISR systems sending information. We have humans sending information. We have several of those. Algorithm generator alerts, probabilistic recommendation, several compressed decision timeline because there is no time. We must act now and there is no time. And the commander will be in confusion what to do, taxing his subordinate commanders, which is very taskful. So without careful design of human-machine interfaces and display information prioritization, robotics risk overwhelming commanders rather than empowering them. So as Herbert Simon observed, a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. So the solution lies in intent-based control. Commander passes his intention, and then the machine decides, okay, based on the intent, how do you go about helping the commander now to achieve his intention? That is about command and communication in the modern warfare today. So this aligns with the mission command principles. While mission commands say if you're given a task, it's left to you how you achieve it. You have been given all resources. What your higher command requires is for you to achieve that task. So you, with their intent, those machines can help you to achieve that objective as well. So clear autonomy boundaries are defined in these, which actually require human authorization. That machine cannot take action that is subhuman. There are those boundaries, and the machine abide by the boundaries. And then when control must revert to the operator, if in case the machine gets into a difficult situation, at what time he should report back to the commander, to human, and say, okay, what do I do next? And then robotic behavior must be explainable. Trust must be built. This preserves human authority. So if you can do this, humans still remain in authority, not allowing machine to go and do what it likes. So while accelerating the decision cycle, reducing cognitive burden. So this concept brings us to the what we call the brain-computer interface. In the brain-computer interface, it's an evolving technology that allows commanders now to control systems based on intent. Maybe I have a set of drones and unmanned ground vehicles, autonomous tanks, and missiles. So as a commander, based on information I can gather with several of these tools, my intention is to attack a particular location based on that location has been identified as adversaries reading. So my intent now will make the machine the precision-guided missile to fire to that target, to engage a target, without having to give execution command through subordinate command that takes time and that this causes delay. Remember, speed is of the essence in military operation. So, based on this brain-computer technology, seek to improve human-machine interaction by enabling faster and more intuitive control while monitoring cognitive workload. The commander does not need to think too hard to decide on action. His intention now will be relayed to the machine, and based on their intelligence and sophistication, they execute the task for the commander. That is in a layman language. So, but Andy Clark argues that humans increasingly operate as natural born. What this tells us now, time shall come not only in military affairs. We'll get to a point whereby through the brain-computer interface, whereby some patches will be on our brains, we don't need to hold our mobile phones. If my intent now with my patch is to call the commandant, once I think of that, the connection will go through for me with the commandant without having to carry a SIM card or a phone. And that is what brain-computer interface. If my intent now is to go back and eat a particular food at home, the smart system in my house, from my oven to my fridge to my cooker, will communicate with my mind and then prepare such meal for me. So that is all about brain-computer interface. But for military application, now it's about the military commanders controlling this robotic system in the theater, in the field, without having to practically give orders or instructions. So this brings about what we call the hands-free control for selected function. Rapid selection among pre-approved command options, either to hit target A, target B, target C, or at all to be inactive. These capabilities aim to reduce cognitive and physical burden in a high-tempo environment. That is about brain-computer interface. And like we have been witnessing technology, I'm assuring you in the next 10 years, the whole warfare will change, beginning with our domestic application of this brain patch. Already, some of these technology tech companies in the world, like the Tesla, Mark Zuckerberg has started experimenting these brain patches on humans for non-military application, but this is coming also to do the military aspect of it. So while brain-computer interface offers the prospect of accelerating human-machine teaming, it must be carefully governed to preserve command responsibility, protect cognitive sovereignty, and prevent over-automation. That is just a caveat. For Armed Forces of Nigeria, the implication relating to brain-computer interface within this hybrid command framework is enhancing human performance while remaining subordinate to discipline, command, and local authority. So let's have a look at conceptual application of hybrid command, intelligent command and control, and in the Northeast operation. Also, it's about a particular joint task force. The operation is conducted under hybrid command, supported by intelligent command and control, and then brain-computer interface. The Joint Operation Center, throughout the operation, the commander retains full authority over planning, engagement, and decision. So, but for intelligent preparation, the machine will carry out gathering all data within the operating environment. You can skip several steps in operational order, in operation arts, and wargaming, because the machines have that level of sophistication and speed to come out with that. For instance, prior to ground maneuver, the drones establish persistent surveillance across the AOR. Medium altitude UAVs can provide area monitoring or real life happening about the enemy movement. Low altitude quadrotors now can provide exact happenings with the adversary at its enclaves. So concurrently, the unmanned ground vehicles can advance to provide protection for the troops, map areas, and provide necessary sensors and information required. So with all this, for the combined hybrid command, brain-computer interface, and intelligent command and control, there are some lessons that we can learn from the conflicts around the world. Recent global conflicts provide a valuable empirical insight, as Williamson Murray observed, that wars are laboratories of change. For instance, we can look at Ukraine, Gaza, and Nagorno-Karabakh. They have each illustrated that wars are laboratory of taste. So the widespread of low-cost drones demonstrated how persistent and rapid adaptation of unmanned system now is happening. There are low-cost, cheap drones that you can build with fewer dollars, and they are being used for effects, military effects, like all these kamikazes and many other non-sophisticated drones. We are witnessing what is happening in Ukraine. In Gaza, robotics proved vital in dense urban combat operation, highlight both tactical advantages and ethical algorithms. Also, so across all these cases, a single lesson should be learned from the Armed Forces of Nigeria, which is robotics reshapes warfare. The warfare will never remain the way it is. The way we train from the academy in our staff colleges and our war colleges must change. Future commanders must learn to integrate and work as commanders where they have troops as machines, and the ability of human troops now to interact seamlessly and harmoniously with machines as their colleagues and comrades. And that's what the modern warfare will be. In the next 10 years, I believe Nigeria will be applying some of these things. So what's the implication now generally for the Armed Forces of Nigeria? For the Armed Forces of Nigeria, robotics on the front line fundamentally alters how we must conceive command for employment and operation effectiveness. Adoption of robotic systems is not merely a technological upgrade. Within a hybrid command framework, robotics must be integrated as extension of human intent. Commander must exercise authority over distributed networks of sensors, platform, because the warfare will be about several sensors now gathering information and passing to the command center. As Antoine Beckett reminds us that war remains human enterprise, even as it becomes increasingly automated. No matter how automated, still is human that directs it, that starts it, and that commands it. So therefore, technological advancement must remain subordinate to human judgment, command responsibility, and operational control. Now, let's have a look of what the Center of Creativity and Innovation has contributed toward this robotics for the Armed Forces of Nigeria. So that, like I said, already have started deploying some of these things that we did here to the front line in the Northeast theater. So in response to the evolving character of modern warfare, and the growing operational demands placed upon the armed forces of Nigeria. Under my leadership at the center, a deliberate, structured, and mission-oriented strategy has been pursued to build indigenous robotic capability directly aligned with the frontline operational requirement, because the requests came from the operation area based on need assessments. The troops are facing serious IED issues along the advanced routes, seriously. And as a center now, we sat and decided, okay, what do we do to come up with solutions? So part of what we did in our strategy is to integrate system design and rapid prototyping, human capital development, interdisciplinary research, and rigorous operational testing, all with emphasis on relevance, adaptability, and long-term sustainability for the armed forces of Nigeria. So key output of the center include the ground mobile attack vehicle. We have on the screen some of those systems, which I have a video that will play the video maybe before my lecture ends. We have several of them on the screen. Starting from the top right is a ground mobile attack vehicle in the theater now operating with Sector 2 in the Joint Task Force Operation, Northeast. Others are the field kitchen. And then we have another one. The second row to the right is an autonomous storage system also mounted on the hillocks provided by the former chief of army staff, also in the operation area. Also, that has been mounted on one of our APCs. So many of those actually have been taken there. Our field kitchen is in the theater as well. The ST people are using it, part of what the center did. We also have established comprehensive drone design, building and piloting maintenance programs. Here at the center, we train children from age above, and our cadets also do come to train, as well as students from AFIT. Mechanical students are coming to do some work in our laboratory here. So beyond hardware development, the center has also delivered nationally impactful capacity building initiatives. This includes Satisfy training program in conjunction with National Board for Technical Education. Last year, we conducted a training on compressed natural gas, and the Academy has been the first institution in Nigeria to issue CNG licenses to technicians in collaboration with NBT. The training was conducted here. I think people came from all over the country. About 250 trainees converged here for 2 weeks. And at the end of training, NBT issued them certificate as satisfied technician to carry out CNG conversion under the Presidential CNG Initiative. Again, this position the Nigerian Defense Academy as the first institution, I've said that. So, through participation at national innovation platforms, most notably the investments in digital and creative enterprise. Also, this was a program the federal government initiated early last year, whereby universities all over the country and polytechnics submitted their interest to participate, and they came inspected facilities and competencies within the universities. The then commandant approved one of the former battalion lines to be allocated for the Center for Training, and that qualified NDA also to be one of the 23 universities in Nigeria to benefit from that $1 million federal government grant. These outputs reflect a core conviction that has guided my academic and professional journey. Military technology must be conceived by those who understand the battlefield, developed in close proximity with operational realities, because we know what is required in the operation. So we can develop technology that will solve problems in the theater for operation purposes, and governed by those accountable for its consequences. If anything goes wrong, Geneva Convention, IHL regulation are there. So what are the implications of unmanned system taking human life? There are so many of those things. So the experience of Center for Innovation and Creativity demonstrate that when academic scholarship, military professionalism, and indigenous engineering capability are deliberately aligned, innovation does not remain theoretical. It translates directly into operational advantage and institutional self-reliance. So if we continue with what we did in academy with proper support and other institutions of the military doing the same thing, tomorrow Nigeria will be self-reliant. We don't need to wait to import things from outside the country for our defense needs. While military robotics offers significant operational advantages, there are some risks involved. There is nothing that does not have a risk. So, it also, some of these risks are trivial, actually, they are not that serious. These include vulnerability of electronic warfare. We know about cyber attack. If you are not very careful in guarding your network, that can be subject to attackers. So that is one of the issues. And then sustainment and life cycle challenges in contested environment. How do you sustain it? We must train. If you don't have competent personnel, competent commanders, operators, technicians, so we cannot sustain what we are building or what we are procuring. So heightened ethical and legal exposure arising from algorithm-assisted decision. Mistakes could occur due to algorithm generation to hit the wrong target, collateral damage. So this also can be mitigated. So suffering cannot be mitigated by technology alone. Also, our seriousness as operators, as users, we can do something. So what is required is rigorous training, clearly defined rules of engagement, robust governing frameworks, and then strong indigenous technical control, so that whatever we shall be using should be what we produce here, so that we understand how it is, what it is, and what it takes. We can dismantle it and put it together. We can decide to reconfigure it and then get the result we want. But if we continue to import, we have limited knowledge about what that thing is, and we cannot maintain or sustain it. So without this safeguard, robotics becomes an operational liability. With them, it serves as discipline, resource force multiplier. Now to conclude, thank you for reminding me. The special guest of honor, distinguished guest, this lecture has shown that robotics on the front lines is no longer optional. It is already reshaping warfare. Yet war remains a human enterprise, guided by judgment, responsibility, and command. For the armed forces of Nigeria, robotics must be treated not as a prestige technology, but as a doctrinal imperative. Advantage lies not in platforms, but in responsible integration under human authority through hybrid command and disciplined human-machine teaming. Contemporary conflicts confirm that technology delivers value only when supported by sound doctrine, trained personnel, resilient command and control, and ethical governance. Nigerian security realities therefore demand adaptive, locally grounded solutions. Progress at NDA through the Center for Innovation and Creativity demonstrate that we possess the talent and institutional capacity to develop indigenous autonomous systems that enhance operational effectiveness of the armed forces of Nigeria. The real question is, will you shape this future in line with our national interests? Nigeria must move from dependence to capability, from importation to innovation. What remains is resolve now: sustained political will, institutional commitment, and purposeful collaboration across the armed forces, the academia, and the government. With deliberate investment in rigorous training, robotics will serve not as a replacement of commander or the operator, but an extension to the command. Finally, my personal journey and achievements of other young Nigerian engineers affirm one fundamental truth: no technology is beyond a determined nation. We must therefore learn that we can develop, build what we can sustain, innovate for our unique operational realities. So for my future research, in alignment with this imperative, I commit my future research focus to the advancement of brain-computer interface for the benefit of the armed forces of Nigeria, with the aim of progressively reducing reliance on imported solutions for critical military capabilities. Let us therefore advance with unity of purpose, clarity of mission, unwavering resolve, transitioning from dependence to capability, from adaptation to creation. The task for us is clear. The responsibility is collective. with disciplined effort and strategic focus, the future of Nigerian armed forces in terms of innovation is firmly within our grasp. So I would like to make this recommendation for the Armed Forces of Nigeria. The first is the Armed Forces of Nigeria should institutionalize hybrid command as a doctrine to also modernize command and control, so as develop technology literate commanders, beginning from Nigerian Defense Academy. Therefore, irrespective of what our cadets are studying, they should have that basic and general knowledge about hybrid command, about by their time, in the next 10 years, they will be confronted with human subordinates and machine subordinates. So irrespective of your studying history, biology, engineering, as a commander, as a future commander, they should have such. And then the Armed Forces of Nigeria should embed robotics and autonomy into the core force structure, prioritize its use capability by designating and sustainably funding the Center for Innovation and Creativity in NDA as a national center for excellence. And then mainstream AI, robotics, and electronic warfare education across all levels of professional military training in our staff colleges and our work colleges. Employ robotics as a discipline force multiplier for operational effectiveness for force protection and persistent ISR, not proceed acquisition. In which case, having set out the argument and its implications, permit me now to acknowledge with deep gratitude those who support and guides me to this journey. But before then, I would like to the control to play just a 2-minute video of some of those things that I have just talked about here. Control, please. So that is the autonomous storage system. Just play it. Go to the next one, you can play that. So that you can mount it on any way beside the truth, removing the protection of the arm, and then they can fight, the commander can decide to go wherever away from the battle theater. This is studying the future way. During the 2023 battle. And the vehicle, like I said, was provided by the former sponsor, Peter General Sarubaya. Go to the next one. Go to the next one, please. Control the next one. That is okay, please control the next video. Yeah, this is just a detachment, prophetic display of what that vehicle means. You can be with a joystick operating it, and even the Navy, because we have approached the Navy about mounting this on their ships, they have some obsolete systems. This can be either found from the deck or from the control room with a joystick or any system as well. And it can be mounted on our gun ports or on any platform. Our towers, office, also for observation, and this can be mounted as well. Go to the next one. The next one. Control the next one, please. There is no time. So this is the version 2 of the ground attack vehicle. This video was captured 3 years ago during the Captain 2023. Having like 10% review ahead to undertake the investment come back, they can carry casualty supply to the front. Control the next one, please. The next one. So this is a recent one. The one we went to the theater. This is the theater with straight from. Just reposition the video, please. Just make it portrait, please. Well, just, all right. The special guest of honor, distinguished guests, as I stand at this defining moment of my academic and professional journey, my heart is filled with gratitude to Almighty Allah for His mercy, guidance, and sustaining strength. I thank Him for granting me a rare privilege to attaining this exalted rank of professor while in active service, the first in the Nigerian Army history. This achievement is not because I'm better than others, not because I began the journey earlier, but purely by His boundless grace and divine favor. I sincerely appreciate the special guest of honor for two profound reasons. First, for the fatherly role He continued to play in my life. There is never a time that I will go to Him and tell Him that this is what I need, that He will not do it to me. Thank you, Baba Masadu. My heartfelt appreciation goes to the commandant, General Oti Olate, Grand Service Star, for placing competence in me within such a short period after assuming office. I'm deeply grateful, sir, for your generous support and encouragement throughout the sessions of today, events. My deepest appreciation goes to the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Haya Farouk, for what I have said he did to me. When I send my request for what we need for our research, anytime we send from NDA through the DATI office, Director of Translation and Innovation, just to be stable, he approves. Initially, I requested for 10 FIMAX vehicles. The chief translation said, Imam, you are still a lieutenant colonel. I cannot go to my chief and say I need 10 vehicles for Imam. Let's start with 2. Thank you, sir. My deepest appreciation goes to my parents for their fulfilled parenthood, to my late father, Engineer Mohammed Siraj Abubakar, whose memory remains evergreen. May Allah forgive his shortcomings and grant him the natural Firdaus. To my loving mother, please, can my mom stand for recognition? Where is my mom? Mama. No, it's okay. You can sit down. Hajja Memuna Balarimi, you are quite strength behind every achievement I have recorded today. Your prayers, courage, and faith continue to carry me through every moment and storms. To my beloved wife, Hajja Mare Munir, please can you stand up for recognition? Your love, patience, and unwavering support have been the anchor of my life and work. To my children, Khalid, Aisha, Muhammad, and Hafsat, you are my pride, my motivation, and my inspiration. I sincerely appreciate Lieutenant General KTG Minima, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, again, and Lieutenant General Farouk for their consistent support to my innovations and professional development over the years I have served the Nigerian Army. I'm equally grateful to the past NDA commandants, Major General M. Idris, Major General I. Musu, Major General Sarhan, Major General Ochai, and the last NDA commandant I served with, the past commander, Major General A.K. Ibrahim, for their mentorship, confidence, and steadfast support at defining moments of my career. I owe a profound debt of gratitude to my academic and professional mentors, whose guidance shaped my journey, beginning with Major General A.C. Labaran. For reasons when he couldn't make it here, he has been disturbing me over 2 years about coming to attend this lecture, but unfortunately his health condition wouldn't allow him to attend. So I thank you, sir. Major General You have believed in me, open doors, and strengthened my resolve. Our appreciation also go to Professor Baba Ali Umar, Professor A.O. Ahmad, Professor D.K. Gamba, Professor Idris Bugaji, Professor Muhammad Dauda, Professor Yahya Kuta, who has been a pillar behind me for over a decade. He seated here with us. He came all along from Niger State. He left Niger around 5 p.m. yesterday and arrived Abuja late in the night. And by 7 he was in Kaduna just to attend this. And he also represented Niger State government. To His Royal Highness, the Emir of Katsina, Emir represented, I express my profound gratitude for all support and honor extended to me on this special occasion. To my kinsmen from Kankia, beginning with our father, the district of Kankia, Alhaji Musa Sada. I say my father because he's a classmate to my father too. They were in the same class in secondary school. The Honorable Commissioner for Works, the Honorable Alhaji Lawa Awe, my uncle seated here, Honorable Kusada Yahya, member representing Kankia Kusada constituency, Honorable Law Abdullahi, and many others. Too numerous to mention. I thank you sincerely for your solidarity, prayers, and for rejoicing with me today. To my brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, and aunties that came all along from Kankia from Katsina yesterday, they left around 10 in the morning, arrived late in the evening yesterday. They had 3 breakdown, but finally they made it here. Over 100 of them are sitting here rejoicing with you. They are all welcome. You want to jump up for? Okay, just stand for. You can stand for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. To my cadets, although I'm not be able to make it here because they are writing exams, so I couldn't catch them, they miss a lot. My postgraduate students that are here, several of them are here. I know Engineer Aliu, Engineer Livingston, among others, Engineer Esosa, they are all here. So, you are the proof of my work. Your curiosity, discipline, and resilience continue to renew my commitment to teaching, mentorship, and nation building. I acknowledge my teachers across all stages of education and sincerely thank my senior colleagues. The likes of Brigadier Eze, who is my directing staff in college. Thank you, sir, for directing properly, sir. Who is the cadet brigade commander now in the academy? Professor Isa Garba, Engineer Dr. Mukhtar Arabadarma, Professor Ali Baba, Professor Jimmy, who was my lecturer in Byron Basikano, and now is a visiting professor in my department, not under me, but in my department. To my colleagues and staff of NDA, all the professors, the distinguished professors, the HOD dean, head of centers, academic staff, non-academic staff, administrative staff, everyone, especially the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, the Department of Mechatronics Engineering, and my staff at the Center for Innovation and Creativity. I deeply value their professionalism, sacrifice, and teamwork. A special appreciation goes to my childhood friends, whose brotherhood, encouragement, and loyalty have remained constant through every scene of my life. The lives of Dr. Mutara Ora, Dr. Ali Musa, Engineer Musbahu, Engineer Hassan Musa, Engineer Ali Rabi Ibrahim, Navy Captain, Associate Professor, Engineer Isa Musa, Banjuma, Malam Anduko, Engineer Abraham, Dr. Mali Ibrahim, among others. You title and honors, I cherish you deeply. Right from secondary school, from university time, we have been together. I thank you all. I also wish to especially appreciate the committee serving with organizing this Professorial Inaugural lecture, every headed by Professor Yetame, with Professor Wanda, Professor Martins, Associate Professor Agboje. I'm deeply grateful for your tireless effort, professionalism, and attention to detail. Your dedication behind the scenes ensure the success of today's event. I do not take your sacrifice for granted. To all who believe in my vision, stood by me in trials, and celebrate my achievements, I thank you sincerely from the depths of my heart. Finally, to humanity at large, I reaffirm my lifelong commitment to knowledge, innovation, and service for the collective good. May your shared efforts continue to advance peace, progress, and well-being of mankind. Thank you most sincerely for your esteemed presence at my inaugural lecture. May Allah guide us in our quest to serve our nation with knowledge, courage, and foresight. Long live the Nigerian Military Academy. Long live the Nigerian Army. Long live the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My references are on the screen. Thank you, sir.
Our highly esteemed special guest of honor, sir, distinguished guests, you will agree with me that the inaugural lecture was insightful and the inaugural lecturer deserves another round of applause. Thank you, sir, for your contributions to knowledge and burning national issues, particularly on security. This signals hope for the future of our dear country, Nigeria. Next on the program is the decoration of the inaugural lecturer. To carry out this function, may I humbly request the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General O.T. Olatoye, assisted by the Acting Academic Provost, Professor N.A. David, to please step forward to conduct the decorations. Thank you, sir. Permit me, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to call on the President, Chairman, Governing Council, Nigerian Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship to present an award to the distinguished inaugural lecturer.
I'm Lord Kankia Ibrahim, Waziran Kankia, and as said, President, Chairman of Governing Council, Nigeria Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And you are our younger brother from Kankia, and we are very proud of your achievements and what you are doing to humanity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide you.
of his as an academic. The inaugurated professor has touched some lives and has also been touched by many. Permit me to welcome Engineer Livingston Aduke, a mentee of the professor, for his comments. Engineer Livingston, please. Please, you have 2 minutes.
The chairman of this great occasion, the commandant of the Nigerian Defense Academy, special guest of honor, I greet you all. Good afternoon. It is a rare privilege and indeed a personal honor to be considered out of a legion of mentees to stand on this platform today to say a word or two about the man we're all here to honor, a man whose journey is laced with intellectual excellence. I am so honored to be here today. There is no doubt that Professor has touched a lot of lives, and it is evident. I recall my first meeting with him. It was some years ago. Prior to that, I'd heard so much about him. So on my chance encounter with him, I was as confused as I was excited because he wasn't adorned in his military regalia. I couldn't reconcile the man who I now stood before with this great general. He was so simply dressed. And that left an indelible mark in my heart. Sir, you are an embodiment of knowledge. And what is more is that you go to extra miles to impact this knowledge to your mentees. And this is something highly commendable. I cannot forget the long nights. I cannot forget the long days just to see that you raise men who step into your shoes. And for that, I stand deeply grateful. I want to say that your achievements might not rest on the shelves of the libraries we have around. Your true achievements is evident in people like me and the many countless more that you have touched. We stand grateful on this occasion and we say thank you. I just have 2 minutes, and it is not enough to thank you on a personal note. I cannot thank you for your time. I can't thank you enough for the corrections. I can't thank you enough for the long nights and your quest to see that we become excellent in all what we do. On behalf of myself and many mentees out there, I say thank you. From the depth of my heart, I say thank you. I say this is just the peak. It is just the establishment of platforms that several very much.
Thank you very much. Also to give a goodwill remark is the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Issa Usman Emwabino. Please, you have 2 minutes, sir.
The distinguished special guests, I think you gave me the honor to recognize the already established protocol. I'm told I have 2 minutes, and I'm here to represent the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. My name is Engineer Isa Usman Amuabino, the former chairman of Nigeria branch of the society and the pioneer chairman of the Nigeria Institute of Highway and Transportation Engineers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the warm felicitation of the Council and the entire membership of the Nigeria Society of Engineers on this remarkable and historic occasion, being the inaugural lecture of Engineer Colonel Professor A.S. IMAM, MNSC. It is indeed a moment of pride and fulfillment for our great society to witness one of our own distinguished members attain such a high academic distinction and professional eminence. On behalf of the leadership and the entire membership of the Nigeria Society of Engineers, I wholeheartedly congratulate Engineer Colonel Professor IMAM for this outstanding scholarly accomplishment and his distinguished contributions to engineering and Nigeria and beyond. Follow the completion of its PhD program with specialization in mechatronics from the UK, our society proudly celebrated this accomplished gentleman, officer, and academic par excellence at our International Engineering Conference and the annual general meeting held in Ilorin in the year 2012. At that conference, internationally acclaimed scholars endorsed and recommended his work as a valuable reference for professionals and researchers in the field. This recognition speaks volumes about his intellectual depth, research, excellence, and the professional integrity. Engineer Colonel Professor IMAM has carried the banner of the Nigerian Society of Engineers with this dignity, honor, and commitment. His career reflects the highest ideals of engineering excellence, discipline, and service to humanity. I must also pay glory tribute to the Nigeria Defense Academy and the Nigeria Armed Forces Command for providing an enabling environment that has allowed this distinguished engineer to excel and make meaningful contributions to national development. I heartily congratulate the authorities of the Nigeria Defense Academy for the remarkable stride the institution has made, positioning itself as a world-class center for excellence in engineering, education, and research. The Academy continues to provide disciplined, technically sound, and visionary leaders who combine military precision with engineering innovation. I wish the Academy even greater success in the years ahead. I also wish Engineer Colonel Professor IMAM continued success in his academic and professional pursuits. To the team of engineers, scientists, and technologists, and the gallant military decision officers of this great institution, we encourage you to continue striving for high attitudes of excellence and innovation. The Nigerian Society of Engineers remains steadfast in its commitment to partnering with the academy and its members in the professional journey. We shall continue to support the NDA wherever possible, especially in areas connected with continual professional development, knowledge sharing platforms, technical collaborations, structured membership initiatives, networking opportunities with industrial leaders, experts, and global partners. Together, we shall advance engineering practice, uphold the highest ethical standards, and contribute meaningfully to the Nigeria technological and infrastructural development. I want to stand aside for a brief moment to add something into the President's speech, to say that what we have celebrated today is mechatronics and robotics as applied in the military circle, in the security circle. I want to add that mechatronics and robotics is now the in thing. It has an in-depth application in the health sector, an in-depth application in the agricultural food security sector, and virtually in all sectors of engineering. The in thing, the trending thing now is robotics and mechatronics. And we are very proud of the celebrant for being one of our own, our members, and the very distinguished members of Nigeria Society of Engineers. Once again, I congratulate Engineer Colonel Professor IMAM on this remarkable achievement and wish everyone present full deliberations in the most enriching lecture. Except when I came now and added engineer to his name, I never heard anybody mention engineering. Please always remember him as Engineer Colonel Professor A.S. IMAM. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me take that. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for reminding us. Engineer Professor Colonel IMAM. Thank you so much. Right now, we'll take a brief remark from a mentor of the inaugurated professor. He's the representative of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Niger State, Professor Yahaya Uta, Pro-Chancellor Abdulkadir Pure University, Niger State. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol as eloquently established by the compere. For me, today is one of the greatest days of my career, spanning 35 years at the University of Ibadan. At the University of Ibadan, we cherish scholarship as the first premier university in Nigeria. And indeed, when I met the young lieutenant at the University of Newcastle in the UK, almost 2 decades ago, I was excited to see a Nigerian, because I went on an official assignment as the Secretary to Niger State Government with the Governor of Niger State then, Dr. Muazu Bangida Aliu, who is luckily the colleague of our special guest of honor today. And I never knew where he came from until one of our colleagues, who was the Commissioner of Finance, Alhaji Muazu Mohammed, currently a politician, but as a technocrat and academic, I was so excited. And I want to put aside the jokes between Katsina and Nupe people, that I never knew something good would come out of Katsina. But I was shocked that this brilliant man is from Katsina. And I have to shave all my swords. Congratulations, Katsina people. And on a very serious note, the commandant, let me say that this is an opportunity for Nigeria. This is an opportunity for the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is a great moment for not only scholarship, but military advancement, for technology, for innovation, and for accomplishment. Who say that the Nigerian military and armed forces are second in the world? No, they are first rated in the whole world. And therefore, through the special guest of honor, because I know the special guest of honor is a special person, and I know he's going to take this message back to where it belongs, that this young man deserves all the support for the elevation and advancement in defense manufacturing, robotics, engineering, and emerging realities in artificial intelligence and autonomous systems, which for me is an opportunity to advance frontiers in indigenous production models that will assist the armed forces' goal of achieving self-sufficiency, defense technology, and innovation. Therefore, the special guest of honor, sir, through you, to the TED Fund, to Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, this is the moment we have been waiting for, so that Nigeria will explore this opportunity for future technology motivation, innovation centers, such that you have in the Nigerian Defense Academy. I was telling the Commandant that, Mr. Commandant, sir, please let the world know that the Innovation Center here should be exposed to the rest of the world, so that the whole world will come here to learn about innovation and technology for solving problems. I will say it's not possible. In 1956, Malaysia came to NIFO in Benin to come and study our achievement in research in oil palm. And today, Malaysia learned from Nigeria and is today unarguably the leading oil palm producer in the world. And through technology, they have advanced the use of oil palm not only for cooking, for domestic use, for human consumption, but as alternative source of oil and other uses, that the way you move petroleum from your ships in Nigeria, that's how they move oil palm from their shores in Malaysia. So Nigeria can leverage on what NDA is doing to advance, popularize these technologies through this innovation center. And finally, what is good is good. We have seen a good product here, and we must do everything humanly possible through all those who believe that this is the time for championing a new dawn for Nigerian technology and innovation transfer. This officer is a patriotic human being. In the emerging worlds of AI and technology, he could have dropped a uniform and joined the Chapa syndrome. But yet, he refused. He came back and decided to advance research service to our nation. You deserve not only national medal, but global and national recognition. And I wish, through our special guest, to employ the TED Fund to come fully to this center, to come to fully NDA, where you are not only manufacturing human beings to take care of our internal and security, but also to advance frontiers in technology generation for the solutions to our security challenges in our country. On that note, I wish you well as an academy, and I wish this young man, the future has just started. Not the beginning, not the end, but you have just started, until you reach the zenith of excellence in your career and for the development of Nigeria. Congratulations, and thank you all. Thank you for the opportunity. And let me extend the well wishes of the governor of Niger State, who is a farmer and a governor. When I told him about this program, that he saw this invitation, if not for his engagement, he would have loved to come here in order to support this young man. But luckily for me, I have a former chief of army staff, which is a very critical variable. Lieutenant General Yaya is here, is my father's namesake, and I thank you for being here, sir. May God bless you and what you have done to this young man that has given him the courage. And I know those coming behind you will learn to promote what is good. Thank you for promoting what is good. And thank you, Nigeria, for what is good. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, sir. And thank you, Engineer Colonel Professor A.S. IMAM, for breaking the jinx for Katsina people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to one of the high points of this event. May I humbly request the Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy to invite to the podium the special guest of honor, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, for his remarks.
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, I was given 2 pages of protocol. So I will crave your indulgence to stand on existing protocol. More especially, there is one person I don't want to mention because what I will say about him, he wouldn't like to hear. He also wouldn't like to hear. I will compare. I hope you're not joining that noble man. Colonel Professor is not the first professor in Kaduna. We had many of them. We are very talented people, and like them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, I will recognize 3 people here, or 4. Honorable Abubakar Yahya Kusada, who represents the celebrant in the Federal House of Representatives. Another member from Kaduna State House of Assembly who represents Musa, who is also a relation of the celebrant. Honorable Away is there. I will also recognize his district head. You know, when you are recognizing district head, anybody who has a title under that district head should not be recognized. So there is somebody who are not recognized because I have already recognized his district head. And Air Vice Marshal Kaita, retired, but certainly not tired. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. One time well spent. A lot has been said about Colonel Abubakar Swaja Imam. I met him about 11 years ago. He came and demonstrated what he has been able to produce here in NDA. I was amazed, surprised. I'm not telling him. Yes. So, after all, before any Nippoman joined military, before, we had generals from Kazina. So it was surprising when this young man, he told me his story. At the time when I visited the school which he completed in Gawa, I was commissioner of Works, Housing and Transport. I visited the school. I was highly impressed. Especially one thing which has not been highlighted, his ability to bring up this young man on the streets. This is how we worked with him in Katsina. This young man on the street, hands-on training, put them on something that can earn a livelihood. We did it in Kaduna. In fact, he demonstrated it to convince everybody that is doable. So he is an institution. It's a gift to humanity. Because he is doing it out of passion. If not because of passion, like I wouldn't want to quote him anyway. You see, he said, with the talent he has, and is still wearing uniform, he deserves some respect. And what he has demonstrated today with this robotics is food for thought, general. Because considering the number of armed forces, considering the number of police, can they govern all the ungoverned space in Nigeria? No. Only through technology. It's doable, very doable through technology. We have realized its potential in TET1. 2 years ago, we was a TET1 research fair. And we know, we have seen what he demonstrated that was done here in NDA. We were highly impressed, all of us, including the Minister of Education then. So we decided and made him a member of the National Research Fund. And also, beginning from 2026, the highest percentage of our interventions with regards to special intervention, high park, zonal, and all other interventions, apart from the direct disbursement to institutions, will go to technology and innovation. The world has changed. Our educational system must change. The educational system we are still operating in our higher institutions cannot work with law. The world has moved on, so we better move with the world. Technology, innovation, skills. The world is no longer what certificate you have, is what your skills can do. Lack of skills. That's why we have many of our university graduates running about with certificates looking for jobs, while they should be creators of jobs. What is the purpose of education? I think it's to free you, to free the mind, open the heart, open the brain, not for knocking the doors, looking for employment. If you cannot get, cheatable. No, our educational system must change in producing people who can be employers, not employees. How many jobs do we have in government? How many? I always cite my state because, our population now is over 80 million. If you take local government and state, the total workforce cannot reach up to 60,000. Yaya Kusada was speaker and Kazan State House Assembly, so we know something about that. So, with the number of young men and women who are trained in universities other tertiary institutions. Job to give you all of them. But we can give them something that they can look after themselves. Education, pursuit of knowledge should change. That any time, at any point in your educational career, you want to opt out, you can do something. This we have to start right from secondary school. Some are even saying from primary school. One interesting thing, you go to and take all places where the mechanics or welders are. Especially a weekend, you will see a mechanic carrying his small child to workshop. How many of us are training our children in our trade? We are only training our children to work. Employment. The father and the son are busy chasing offices looking for employment for the son. It shouldn't be so. Shouldn't be so. We have population. Where there is population, there is market. Where there is market, there are opportunities. We are giving the opportunities to foreigners. I was highly impressed sometimes 2 months ago here in Kaduna. When I saw the furniture produced here in Kaduna, I couldn't believe it. There are opportunities. People like you are training young Nigerians. Please let us put our nation to work. We can do it. Wassalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful remarks. As it is tradition of the Nigerian Defense Academy in events such as this to honor its special guests by presenting a souvenir, may I respectfully invite the Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General O.T. Olatoye, to present a souvenir to our special guest of honor from the Nigerian Defense Academy. Thank you, sir. Next on the program is the announcement of the next professorial inaugural lecture. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I request the acting academic provost, Professor N.A. David, to kindly step up for this announcement. The academic provost, ma'am.
The special guest of honor, Right Honorable Aminu Masaru, Chairman, Board of Trustee, Debt Fund, our chief host, the Nigerian Defense Academy Commandant, Major General O.T. Olatoye, I respectfully acknowledge the presence of all our distinguished invited guests, and I seek your permission to stand on already established protocol. I am Professor N.A. David, the Acting Provost of Nigerian Defense Academy. And on behalf of the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, and the entire staff of this great institution, I have been mandated to announce the next person to present the inaugural lecture. That's the 24th inaugural lecture. So, we have listened to Engineer Professor Cornell IMAM, bringing to our notice that robotics is a in thing in contemporary warfare and its drivers. Our searchlight now departs the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, and we move to Faculty of Management Sciences by focusing on a scholar, a distinguished one from the Department of Accounting in the person of Professor Tini Inwo as the next person and professor to bring into this established academic tradition. So, Professor Inyon will be presenting to us from the accounting perspective. In due course, we will make known the timing for that. He is going to be the one to host us in the next inaugural lecture. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a blessed day.
Thank you, Ma, for your announcement. Next on the program, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to humbly invite the Academy Registrar, Brigadier General O.A. Ogunleye, to deliver the vote of thanks. The Academy Registrar, sir.
The special guest of honor, sir, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Niger State, ably represented, members of the National and State Houses of Representative and Assembly here present, representative of service chiefs, former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General F. Yaya, retired, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General O.T. Olatoye, Grand Service Star, Fellow, Nigerian Institute of Management, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Brigadier General O.A. Ogunleye, the Academy Registrar. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to move this vote of thanks at this auspicious occasion of the 23rd inaugural lecture of the Nigerian Defense Academy. This inaugural lecture has afforded Engineer Colonel Professor Abubakar Sirajo Imam to share his wealth of knowledge with this distinguished audience. It has also provided the opportunity for him to showcase his career achievements, research, and scholarly contributions in the fields of mechatronics and robotics to the academia, both within and outside Nigeria. The lecture was indeed educative, intellectually stimulating, and professionally delivered by the erudite scholar, Engineer Colonel Professor A.S. IMAM. On this note, shall we give the distinguished scholar a resounding round of applause? Permit me to begin this vote of thanks on behalf of the Commandant and the entire academic community by thanking our highly esteemed special guest of honor, the Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, Chairman Board of Trustees, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, for finding time out of his busy schedule to grace this occasion. Sir, your presence at this occasion reflects your goodwill, love for education, and leadership, which we do not take for granted. We also appreciate your words of wisdom and invaluable contributions both to the scholar and to the success of this occasion. I also use this medium to respectfully thank the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General O.T. Olatoye, Grand Service Star, fellow Nigerian Institute of Management, for his commitment and continuous support in keeping up with the academic culture and excellence in the Nigerian Defense Academy. Thank you, sir, for your visionary leadership, which provides an enabling environment for scholarship in the Nigerian Defense Academy. I also thank you for making available the resources for organizing this occasion. Sir, the academic branch is committed to your leadership philosophy, which, amongst others, seeks to develop scholars of character and competence capable of contributing effectively to Nigeria's security in joint, multi-domain, and knowledge-driven environments. Permit me to also extend our appreciation to other dignitaries here present. I particularly thank Lieutenant General F. Yaya, retired, former Chief of Army Staff, for gracing this occasion and for identifying with the inaugural lecturer. I also thank former commandants and other dignitaries here present for your consistent support to all academy events. I equally thank the Deputy Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Air Vice Marshal A.K. Bello, for his leadership and unwavering support to the academic branch. Permit me to also appreciate the Acting Academic Provost, Professor N.A. David, for providing the enabling leadership that fosters academic excellence in the Nigerian Defense Academy. I equally thank principal staff officers of the Academy, the Cadets Brigade Commander, deans of faculties, academic directors, heads of centers and heads of departments, as well as other senior officers and staff of the Academy for your support to the success of this occasion. At this juncture, I especially thank the members of the Senate for always holding high the banner of academic excellence in the Nigerian Defense Academy. I also congratulate you for being a part of this historic occasion. To other invited guests and colleagues from outside the Academy, as well as members of the academic community, friends, family members, and well-wishers of the inaugural lecturer who have come from far and near, I thank you for honoring us with your presence at this occasion. I also appreciate the members of the Professorial Inaugural Lecture Committee for their dedication and commitment that contributed immensely to the success of this occasion. To the Nigerian Defense Academy Band and other staff of the Academy who work behind the scenes toward the success of this occasion, I thank you all. You have all displayed the excellence and commitment which the Nigerian Defense Academy is known for. The special guest of honor, sir, the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this ceremony to a close, may the insights shared today continue to inspire robust scholarship, innovative research, and meaningful service to our dear country, Nigeria, and the world at large. I wish you all journey mercies to your respective destinations. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. As we gradually come to the close of today's event, may I announce that the exit recession will proceed in reverse order, with the NDA maize taking the lead and distinguished members of the high table exiting the hall first. Following the procession, photographs will be taken at the NDA official photo stand by the VIP reception area. May I urge distinguished guests to please move towards the photo stand for the group photographs, and they will be taken in the following order. The order of the photographs would take the following order. First, we would have the newly inaugurated professor and members of the high table, followed by members of the high table and family members of inaugurated professor. Third, we would have members of the high table and other inaugurated professors, then members of the high table and principal staff officers present. We would also take inaugurated professor and senior officers serving and retired present. We would also take members of the high table as well as the members of the Nigerian Defense Officers Wives Association. Please kindly stick to the order to avoid a waste of time. May we all rise for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Procession. The procession is in reverse order. The special guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a high sense of achievement and pride that the Commandant, the Acting Academy Provost, and entire members of staff of the academic branch, Nigerian Defense Academy, thank you for your presence in today's historic event. I appreciate your company as we mark the 23rd inaugural lecture ceremony. And we wish you all a very safe journey back home as you leave. May God bless the Nigerian Defense Academy. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. Thanks.